Ashley and Andrew Graves. If you've been anywhere on the internet in the last 2 months, I guarantee you've seen these faces at least once. And under whatever post you saw with these guys, you probably saw a comment that went something along the lines of, "Oh no, not the incest game." And you probably decided then and there that this incest game everyone is talking about sounds really gross, and any fan of that game must be an incest supporting freak that needs to be bullied off the internet. Hi, I am that fan of the game you were talking about, and no, I don't support incest, and I do think it's unbelievably gross. But I did really enjoy the Coffin of Andy and Leyley, which is the game these goobers are from, and also the game I'll be talking about today. What a coincidence. I came across this game like most people did, which is when it was absolutely blowing up on Twitter, being labeled as the incest game left, right, and center. The Coffin of Andy and Leyley had become the punching bag of the week, and as everyone took jabs at it left and right, this instead piqued my interest, and I got curious enough to check the Steam page. And there it was, Twitter's least favorite game since that dogshit Harry Potter one. It was laying there on the Steam page with an overwhelmingly positive rating. This is where my curiosity turned to genuine interest. My channel is all about this type of shit. I often tackle these very hated shows that I think are misunderstood and attempt to explain to those people what these works are actually about and why they're honestly not bad at all and are sometimes even some of my favorite stories ever told. And through this series, I've discovered that most of the time, the reason shows like this get so hated on is because people just don't watch them. One person watches something, misunderstands the content, and then spreads this incorrect interpretation, and people just go with it. Because it's supposed to be bad, why waste your time with it, right? Well, I've always despised this way of thinking, and you will never hear me speaking on anything I've never watched or played before in this case, which is why I decided to buy the Coffin of Andy and Leyley so I could play through it myself and formulate my own thoughts, because unlike a lot of people on the internet, I am my own person. And this game has now finally cemented an idea I've had in my head for a while. Media literacy is dead. And to show exactly why I have come to this conclusion, I will be making use of this game and the outcry that it has caused. But first, let's establish the general consensus on this game, in case you're smart enough to not have installed Twitter on your phone. So, let's just go on Twitter real quick, and then we search the incest game. And while I talk, we'll just have this scrolling down in the background. The Coffin of Andy and Leyley has been given the name the incest game, as these people on Twitter know absolutely nothing else about it. You wanna know why? They haven't played the game. As you can see here, and here, and here. Most people that hate this shit simply haven't played it, and has only heard it be called the incest game, and so that's all it is to them. And since I doubt these people will ever pick the game up, that's what it will remain to be. Now, does the pure inclusion of incest automatically make a game bad? I don't think so. Granted, I don't know if this is just a topic Twitter has arbitrarily just decided cannot be covered in any way, shape, or form, but the argument I've seen against the game is that people think the game romanticizes incest, and that's why they have a problem with it. Which is just dumb. Like, anyone who actually paid attention to the game would be able to tell you that this isn't the case. Even if you're media illiterate, like completely media illiterate. And I'll tell you why. With a single screenshot from the game. You see this?
Can you read that, or do you need me to do it for you? Here it says, very clearly, somehow it seems like a highly questionable idea to take this route.
Like it cannot get more clear of a warning than this. Like, it's literally a warning telling you to not go down the route. And which route is this, the route in question here? Well, this warning plays before you enter the door that will take you to the incest route. Like, this game is text-based. You can't play it if you're illiterate. So, please explain to me how it's possible to play this game and still think this game romanticizes incest. I'm just convinced you're lying to me, or you played the game with your eyes closed fucking somehow. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, yes, I know that most of the reason this game is hated is because of the witch hunt Twitter has turned into, where one person says something is bad and needs to be cancelled and everyone follows along without questioning anything, because apparently we've all forgotten how to be our own person. But this begs the question, how did the outrage even start? How did someone play this game and come out thinking this was a game worthy of being put on blast, and the creator harassed into selling the game off? How did people manage to misinterpret the game in the first place? What started this Twitter witch hunt? Before we figure this out, I should probably tell you more about the actual game itself, which I will after this break. Hey, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you might be asking what this break is all about. Well, it's kind of like how TV back in the day would cut you off in the middle of an episode to cut to an ad break. Except, I'm gonna use this time to talk more about myself in this channel, as well as to tell you to subscribe to the Patreon. It exists, you get tons of really cool things if you subscribe. Wow, how cool, give me money. Thank you. Now, if you don't care, you can just skip over this. This isn't like TV, like you have the skip button. But I want to talk more about myself in this channel, and I want to use these ad breaks to like give an update to the few of those that care, I guess. This video is pretty different from what I would usually make, considering the fact that it is an anime, which may seem weird, but I've kind of decided I should really just make videos on what I want in general and not just what anime I want. I've had so many ideas in my head, but I've had to write them off since they weren't anime. But my last video was about an anime. Not only that, but it was about Attack on Titan, one of, if not the most popular anime like ever, and yet it flopped. Where my videos about the most obscure bullshit anime didn't. Basically, it's just that one Jim Carrey quote. So, moving forwards, expect more freedom than this channel already exhibited. That's about it. I'll let you go back to the video now. Now, to finally get into it, The Coffin of Andy and Leyley is a game that follows these two siblings as they're locked inside of this apartment to be quarantined as something poisoned the water supply, and these guys got the disease that this poisoned water carried inside of them since, well, they drank the water. This disease is supposedly contagious, and thus these siblings must be kept contained as to not spread the disease further. Now, there's one issue with this. The government has kind of gotten tired of giving food to all these people since, you know, it's not like these guys have any money, nor do they have any real way to earn money since, you know, they can't go outside. So now when we meet our heroes, in fat quotation marks, they are slowly starving to death. Which is an important factor to note since it explains why they, you know, resort to cannibalism. Here we see one of the main themes of this game at play. Desperation. A lot of the decisions that these siblings make a lot more sense when you consider this aspect. They're desperate for food, so they eat someone. They're desperate to escape their apartment, so they kill the police. They're desperate for human contact, so they get a little more touchy-feely than siblings probably should. The life of these siblings is fucking tragic and is supposed to be viewed as such. This isn't a fucking romance, not by a long shot. It's a psychological horror. Over the course of the story, we watch as the siblings slowly deteriorate more and more as they dig themselves deeper and deeper into more and more shit. Literally everything they do is morally egregious, but yet people are mad that there's one ending where they have sex. This clearly being what the game deems as the worst ending, by the way, as not only is there a literal fucking warning telling you not to go this route, but the brother is also cursed by a fucking demon in it. I don't know how much more clear I can get with this. And yes, I know this video says that that's a non-point, but like, Give me an actual reason as to why it's a non-point and not just pointless name-calling.
Oh, we can eat and kill people, but we can't fuck? Which ignores the fact that up until the very end, Andrew hasn't wanted to do any of that either. Ironically, most of the game's own fans parrot Ashley's words when they encounter anyone who is made uncomfortable by the incestuous nature of their relationship, which is right up there with quoting Tyler Durden, Rick Sanchez, Tony Montana, Walter White, Kylo Ren, Darth Treya, Anduin Rin, or Thanos. It's a bad argument, and you know it's a bad argument because you made your psycho goth waifu say it out loud before anyone else had the chance to.
And no, I'm not counting this analysis afterwards as a point.
The reason for that dissonance is most people are fine reading a story about a cannibal serial killer because it's almost guaranteed that it will end badly for that person.
And here on the screen is a reason why. And also saying that it's not compelling is also not an argument, it's a subjective opinion. I recognize that this game is very obviously not for everyone, but it's by no means badly written, as this video here claims. Now, I mean absolutely no will to Lily and Mikaila, I don't know how to pronounce that, but these guys made this video and I'm not really one for drama. It's impossible to find negative opinions coming from people who've actually played the game, so that's why I'm gonna be using their video a lot as like an example of a negative opinion on this game that I can sort of debunk in a way. My point is, I'm not trying to start drama. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. The argument in this video is that the game is bad because it has nothing to say. The characters aren't deep and this is just a game that's dark for the sake of shock value. I genuinely was wondering if this person had played the same game I did while watching this video because... like what? Most of this video is hating on Ashley Graves as a character and how she isn't deep and isn't scary because she just acts like a tee-hee quirky girl. But like, have you ever heard of a wolf in sheep's clothing? Ashley is written to be charming and she's written to be a character you can understand the appeal of. In this game designed for losers, this is quite literally their dream girl. I mean, why do you think there's a whole video essay about why she's so fucking hot? Despite how she might as well just be a walking red flag. Because that's the fucking point. Ashley makes herself very purposefully charming because she wants Andrew to love her. She wants Andrew to stay with her and never leave her. And if you want depth, look no further than exactly what has caused this person to come out like this. This game spends a lot of time in the past, and later on you get to meet and talk to Ashley and Andrew's parents. And to those that actually paid attention and didn't expect the game to spoon feed us like we're fucking babies, we can very clearly see that the reason Ashley became this way is because of her parents. The reason Ashley specifically hates her parents so much and wants them dead is because she recognizes that the reason she's so unbelievably fucked up is because of them and how they failed to raise her into an actual human being. Matter of fact, they didn't raise her at all. Andrew did. A child not far from her age is who was given the responsibility of an entire other child. Children this age cannot even take care of themselves, and you expect him to somehow be able to raise Ashley? This combined with the fact that Ashley seemed to already struggle when it came to getting along with her classmates is what fostered this obsession with Andrew. You mix this with the fact that she shares a lot of negative traits that her mother show, such as manipulation and lying, and here we have a man-made abuser. This brings me over to the horror. This essay claims there's no real horror in this game, but I simply do not get how it isn't scary to think about Ashley as a character, and how common people like her really are in real life. How your upbringing can completely dictate your future as a person. How parents, just like the ones in the game, actually exist. How neglect can completely twist us as people. How our circumstances can slowly corrupt us and turn us into the very thing we hate. I think Andrew is an incredible fucking character, as he's introduced as the voice of reason, the tiny bit of normalcy in this game, but as the game goes on, there's these hints, these subtle and tiny changes in him, from him telling his girlfriend to put her hair up so that she looks like Ashley, to him blatantly ignoring the abuse that Ashley exhibits upon not only him but the people around him, eventually even sinking to her level in the ending that started this backlash in the first place. Ashley has clearly always been a troubled kid. Nobody's born a monster, but some require more care to ensure they won't turn into one. Ashley was given none of this, which is why she is how she is. But Andrew didn't either. He wasn't really treated better by his parents. I mean, chaining him to this girl for basically his entire life is arguably worse than anything Ashley ever had to go through, and yet he's always portrayed as the voice of reason. Well, it's simply because it's not in his nature to be a troublemaker. Andrew is naturally a very calm, collected, and smart kid. Someone who has a firm grasp on his own morals, but when put in the right kind of situation, anyone can snap. That's the fear of the coffin of Andy and leyley. That's the horror. Realizing that this here that you look at in pure disgust, this could be you. Given the right circumstances, this can be what you turn into. If you still want to argue that this game has no value, has nothing to say, here you go. Here's a fucking list. Take your pick. You can walk away from the coffin of Andy and leyley with any of these lessons. So take that point and just get rid of it. Please, it's embarrassing how little you must be paying attention to a game you're making a video on to come out with this conclusion. This is now my third video in this series, with another one completely written and yet another one in planning. After making my first two, I thought that was it. The conditions required to make a video like this are so specific, it shouldn't happen this often. The people completely misunderstand stories and then witch hunt them. But Jesus Christ, it's becoming more and more common by the fucking day. More and more people are judging shit they're not gonna ever actually bother playing or watching, and somehow people are getting stupider as well. I guess, because like, please, the warning is literally shoved in your fucking face. How more clear can it be? But something tells me this is a series that will just keep getting longer and longer and longer as more and more topics become banned by Twitter, until you're simply forced to reprint Jujutsu Kaisen over and over again, because apparently that's all people can handle anymore. I mean, people are jumping out berserk, for God's sake, berserk! Let me your arrest. This is genuinely fucking insane. Please, if you've watched the video until this point, challenge your mind more. Don't just stick to the safe industry plant of bullshit that gets pushed out every season like a growing fetus out of a hooker. Jesus Christ, maybe I shouldn't say that, but you get my point. Media literacy is at an all-time low, and reading comprehension should really not be at a third grade level at your age. Please, people, we can do better than this. I believe.